Today I'd like to do a brief review about these lovely yarn dispensers that are so handy for knitting. They keep me from dropping my yarn on the floor, and how they work is you just put your yarn on like this and you pull and the yarn comes right off. And so I no longer drop my yarn, get it on the floor, it doesn't get covered in lint. It's fantastic. I highly recommend investing in one of these if you're a knitter. They come in a double like this. They also come in singles like this one. And there's 3 brands that I'd like to cover today. These 2 are both from different Etsy shops online. This one is from Santo Woodworks, and this one here is from Willisman. So they're both made out of purple heart wood, and even though they're absolutely gorgeous craftsmanship wise, they're absolutely beautiful, I have to say that I have a strong preference for the Willisman, and the reason is it spins a lot better. You'll see as I do a test here. So you get a lot more rotations on this one, and also this one has a thicker post, so the yarn stays on it a little better than on this one. The yarn kind of catches and gets stuck and simply won't turn on this one every now and then. Now another feature that I like about this one is it actually has holes here that you can move the circular part here, so you can unscrew it, take it apart and fix it, whereas this one here is glued closed and there's no way at all to take it apart. This one here also comes with this fun little yarn director, I guess. They call it a thingamabobber online. That's what they call it. And it just goes in this little hole and it guides your yarn. And it works like this. You put your yarn on and you just wind it through here and it guides your yarn like that. You can get it for an additional little fee. But the truth is, you don't really need this because the yarn comes off of these so easily. They spin so beautifully, and also it kind of falls out when you relocate, which knitters relocate a lot. And so you don't really need this one. The yarn it doesn't get tangled or anything, comes off of these beautifully. So this isn't really necessary, but it's kind of fun if you want to get it. Now, Willisman also makes a yarn dispenser like this. This is like a deluxe version where the ball bearings is actually sealed inside, so it will never get lint in it and it will always spin beautifully, and you can see just how wonderfully it spins, just flawless. Now, one thing I was surprised about is that you can hear the ball bearings. The ball bearings actually make a sound. I thought it would be silent. And he makes silent models, but they're not silent. They make a little bit of noise, which I have come to really enjoy. I really enjoy the sound of these. And if you pick them up, you can hear the ball bearings rolling around in there. Then there's a third model here, and my mom got me this one. This one is silent, or nearly silent. Spins beautifully. It's a little bit off center here, so if that bothers you, it might irritate you with the fact that it doesn't spin as evenly as, say, this one. This one spins pretty much right in the center. And this one is made by Prim. It also can be taken apart. It has these little feet, and I really like it. This one is really nice for traveling. It's small and it has a nice thick post so the yarn doesn't slip off of it. And the last thing that I want to do is do a quick demonstration of a comparison of the Santo Woodworks yarn dispenser and the Willisman dispenser. This one is made out of a really pretty leopard wood, and like I said, I have no qualms with the mastery with which this is built. It's beautifully done, and so is this one. This one is also absolutely beautifully done, but I kind of feel like the woodworker in this case probably knew a lot of knitters, so he knew what knitters wanted more maybe than this artist. So here I have two skeins of yarn that are exactly the same. And this is a really nice alpaca by Drops, one of my favorite yarns. So I'll put these on both, and we'll just do a little comparison. So this is what happens when I'm knitting with this one. Just the yarn just comes right off, spins beautifully without a single hiccup. Love it. And it also has this little handle for relocating it so it doesn't slip out of your hand. Now this one, you can see that it doesn't really work quite as well. And in fact, sometimes the yarn itself will slip around the post like it's doing now. And at times it'll get stuck like this, and it even may result in toppling. But yeah, this one doesn't really work as well. And with certain yarns, it'll just get absolutely stuck to the point where I just have to like spin it with my hand or something. And sometimes it'll do this where it'll go around the post like that. And sometimes it'll wind around the bottom. So anyway, this one has a bunch of problems that I've run into. But I don't think they were intentional. So that's my review, and these are the three kinds that I reviewed today. And I have to say my absolute favorite is the Willisman, because it spins beautifully, has a nice thick post, beautifully created, and it can come apart. I've dropped this a couple times. It took the beating with no problem. My second favorite is this one by Prim. Also can be taken apart. It's very quiet, has a thick post, spins beautifully. And then third place would go to Santo Woodworks, because it doesn't spin as well and has a thin post. I hope that's been helpful for you, and I hope you'll have an easier time buying a yarn dispenser, which is a fantastic tool for knitters out there like me who don't like dropping their yarn.